Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Once again, I think this is the most, uh, the most aggressive I've ever seen a president in his first week of office. Not just putting those executive orders out there, but actually implementing them as best he can. Now, listen, I knew the one with birthright was going to be challenged, as well as should, because that requires a constitutional change. He's not going to win that one. But the fact that he challenged it, I'm not so sure I agree with taking that one away. So, however, what I do agree is that if our enforcement policies at the border were better, a whole lot less women will be coming here pregnant to have their children, right? And they would have to adjudicate that pregnancy if they're being scrutinized before they get in. So, but that one is rightfully challenged because I don't think anybody should be able to change a constitutional amendment by executive order. So I'm not 100% Trumpite, but what they're doing with these illegal aliens is absolutely the right thing to do. And the fact that the Democrats and all the Democratic leadership would rather have killers and murderers and rapists and bad gang members prey upon their citizens mean they should never, ever, ever be able to take office again. I don't think we should ever forget what Brandon Johnson and all the liberal mayors are willing to do, sacrifice their citizenry for votes down the line. So it's absolutely dastardly, and they should never be forgiven for this. But anyway, I'm going to play a couple of clips of what's going on in Boston and listen to some of the reasons why these killers, murderers are being able to run free in your cities, in your poor neighborhoods, because of Democratic liberal leadership. So here goes. Pay close attention.
Nearly 500 arrests in the span of just 33 hours. The New York Post cover, the Iceman Cometh. President Trump also signing more executive orders, including one designed to block illegal crossings. And he told Sean Hannity that Joe Biden's failed policies forced him to take swift action.
Why would somebody say that open borders are good, where jails and mental institutions from other countries and gang members right off the streets of the toughest cities in the world are being brought to the United States of America and emptied out into our country? Why would anybody that even likes, you don't have to love our country, you have to like it. Why would anybody that likes our country, the Democrats, allow that to happen? And even now, I watch them on television. They're trying to justify it. You can't justify it.
So those ICE raids taking place in many parts of the country, including the sanctuary city of Boston. That's where Bill Maloogian went on an exclusive right along with ICE. And Bill joins us now to tell us what he found and what he saw. Bill, good morning.
Bill, good morning to you as well. In the early days of this new Trump administration, ICE officials tell me they're taking what they call a worst first approach, meaning they're going to target the worst of the worst criminal alien offenders first. Well, we were given exclusive access to join the elite ICE team right here in Boston as they go into sanctuary jurisdictions and enforce immigration law.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a frigid 5 degrees in the pre-dawn hours just outside of Boston, where this team of elite ICE officers is briefing on their targets for the day.
We're going to be targeting some extremely violent offenders today.
Within moments, the officers are on the move, with eyes on their first target.
Looks like we got movement, target vehicle coming out.
They quickly take him into custody. He's an MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder. And he has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
You know, you can't gloss over it. 17 convictions. You could tell that they're violent. You know he was harming people in the neighborhood. 17. And he's still out on the street. And if you listen closely, they'll tell you why. If it's not him, the next guy.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Ice Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Yo, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of...
So, again, because of Democrat sanctuary policies, an illegal alien could commit murder, commit heinous crimes, and be released back to prey on the population because a policy that a bureaucrat, a blue city bureaucrat put in place to not cooperate with the federal government because they want to flood the country with illegal aliens so they can find a way to get a new voting bloc. I mean, I don't see how anybody could ever vote for these bastards ever again. I swear. I mean, it just for whatever you think about Trump and all this kind of stuff, at the very least, you'd be hard pressed to say that he's not an American and for Americans first. And anybody who calls himself an American, how can you stand the actual blatant disregard for the citizenry by letting these savages back on the street because of some stupid bureaucratic policy that doesn't make sense? It's just incredible. It's just incredible.
Of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, shortly after we finished filming, ICE Boston told us they arrested 2 more targets in other parts of town away from our cameras.
These kind of raids are going on over across the whole country. In all those sanctuary cities, everywhere they're trying, in Chicago, anywhere they're trying, New York City, ICE is coming in, and there's so many known targets of these guys walking around willy-nilly committing crimes, setting people on fire, doing all kinds of things. And while the liberal Democrat mayors and governors and aldermen and politicians watch the citizenry burn, and they don't care. They just want to have a new voting bloc, and so they'll do anything to get it on the backs of American citizens, the poorest of us. Think about when they bust those illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard, how fast those rich people made them get those people out of there, send them to the darkies, the black ones. And that's where they did in Boston, right? And I think the governor's, a liberal governor's trying to change her tune. I believe it's a lady. I tell you what, man, I don't see how anybody can ever vote for these people again. They're anti-American. They're traitors to the United States of America. And why would it take Trump to do this? I think everybody should be mad at the Republicans for being such cowards and not standing up against this because of woke culture and being afraid of being canceled. Why does it take a guy like Donald Trump to do this? Right? Because let me tell you, it's a long time coming, and I'm glad it's here. Some of the policies that he's coming up with are going to be absolutely the best thing for our country. It's like a cleansing. If we can get us back to the point where we're all just Americans, or even if that's the starting point is now, because I know a lot of Black people can't see past the color of their skin, of our skin, but at some point we got to look in the mirror and say, you know what? Anything that's worth having in America is ours to have as well, just like any other white person, just like any other Asian, just like any other small hat, just like anybody else. We just got to claim it. We got to work for it and claim it. So.
One of those targets is a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested for raping a woman while putting a gun in her mouth. The other target they got is a Haitian man who first flew into the United States in 2023 as part of President Biden's controversial migrant flights mass parole program. Well, they just picked him up yesterday because he's been arrested locally for sexual assault. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Malhusian, it was fascinating to watch all of that. I think I was just saying to Bill, this is terrible for Joe Biden and the legacy that he tried to leave behind. A question from me, how soon will they actually be leaving the country? Does that take a long time?
It depends what country they're from. If they're from cooperable countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, countries like that, it can be quick. It can be within days or weeks. If it's countries that are harder to deport, countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much, it can go into a process of months. But the Trump administration is changing policies with something called expedited removal. The bottom line is people at home don't need to understand all the policies. The Trump administration is just going to work as fast as they can to get all the people you just saw on camera there out of the country as fast as possible. They're also going to use their State Department, now led by Marco Rubio, to put pressure on countries that don't cooperate with the U.S. as much when it comes to those deportations.
Bill, just two points of clarification here. It seems a lot of these crimes are associated with sex crimes. I'm just looking at the list a bit earlier today. I don't know if that generally is the case or not. And second, if Boston's a sanctuary city, how are they allowed to do this? Because we told there would be resistance.
Boston doesn't have to cooperate with ICE, but there's nothing they can do to stop ICE from coming into their city and enforcing the law. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And that's the point ICE makes to us is, look, they don't have to cooperate with our detainer requests. They don't have to tell our officers when they're releasing somebody from jail. But we're going to do our job. We have our intel guys out in the field. We have people with eyes all over the place, and we're going to snatch those guys. So they can make ICE's job more difficult, longer, and more dangerous, but it's not going to stop ICE from doing the job, guys. The bottom line is ICE says it's safer for everybody involved if locals would just hand these guys over in jail once they're arrested, but they don't. They let them out onto the streets. They don't tell ICE about it. So ICE has to spend a lot of resources gathering intel, finding these guys, and then going out into the community to do it.
See, listen, this is where the twist comes in, right? You got these traitors from the liberal Democrat Party don't want to cooperate with the feds to get the worst murderers and killers out under the guise of protecting innocence, right? So instead of when these guys get put in jail, where they could just tell ICE to come get these guys from the jail, where there's no collateral damage, right? Because these guys go back into homes where other illegals are who aren't taken, who use them as human shields, or who these illegals who aren't committing crime harbor these murderers, harbor these killers. You know what I'm saying? And so some of it is innocent. Some of them are family members. So they let them in. So when ICE goes into that house, and if there's 5 people in there who haven't committed a crime, but they're illegal, they're going to go too. Right? So the same Democrats, the same traitors to America who are allowing this to happen in all the sanctuary cities, they're putting the people they're trying to protect at risk because ICE is not going to stop. And when they let these people out and don't tell ICE that this rapist, this assaulter, this deleter, this thief is being let out of jail, come get him. That guy's going home to a family. That guy's going home to the kind of citizens that, okay, you're illegal, but if we don't want to come after you first. So can you understand the twist in this thing? I mean, that's what's going on. I don't see how anybody could ever vote for a Democrat again. I swear, I just don't see it. Now, Trump and your guys, you're on the clock, but these guys hate America. They absolutely hate America. And I can't believe I was voting for these guys for the majority of my life. I really, really can't believe it. So it's sad. It's sad.
Arrest, which could be dangerous. You saw that combative Haitian man, and then you saw in the case of that one MS-13 member, his friend got snagged. They weren't even looking for him. They were looking for the MS-13 guy. They picked him up because a sanctuary jurisdiction released the MS-13 guy. ICE found him and then found the guy who was in the apartment with. They found out he was an illegal alien as well. So now he's going to be deported too.
Wow.
Amazing. Bill Maloogian, thank you so much. More to come on that.
Thank you, Bill. I'm Steve.
So that's that for that. It's sad commentary, but that's the way it is. That's exactly the way it is. So anyway, I just want to say this short thing, how bad it really is. I feel a sense of relief that we have somebody in office who's going to clean up the mess, but the mess is still there and it's dangerous, So anyway, our pain, marriage, politics, and sports, over and out.